Lesson 8 is about subtracting fractions and mixed numbers. So the steps are pretty similar to when you would be adding fractions and mixed numbers, but just with a little exception here. So it's the same thing. We want to rewrite it vertically, and it's really important when we do that with subtraction. We want to find those common denominators, convert our denominators to those least common multiple, that common denominator, and then we want to subtract. We almost want to start by subtracting the fractions. But this is the important part, especially where I put these stars right here. So if that first number is smaller than the second number, you can't subtract, right? That's like if you had 15 minus 8. We can't do 5 minus 8. So we borrow where the 1 becomes a 0, this 5 becomes 15, now we can subtract, right? So it's that same idea, just a slight twist with fractions. Then we subtract the whole numbers and then simplify if necessary. So looking at this first problem, we've got 30 and 3/4 minus 4 and 1/16. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite these vertically. Again, this is really important with subtraction so that we don't make a mistake. So I need to first rewrite these with those common denominators. So if I look at these, 4 and 16, their least common multiple is 16. So I'm going to rewrite this. The whole number stays the same, but I want to rewrite it with a denominator of 16. So this whole number stays the same, denominator of 16. So I have to multiply top and bottom by the same value to get to that denominator. Well, 4 times what is 16? 4 times 4. If I multiply the denominator by 4, I have to multiply the numerator by 4. 3 times 4 is 12. Down here, 16 times what is 16? Well, it's already 16. So 16 times 1, have to do the same to the top. 1 times 1 is 1. Now I can go ahead and subtract. 12 minus 1 is 11/16. 30 minus 4 is 26. So I should always check to see if I can simplify. I can't, so that is my final answer. Example number 2, 11 and 2/5 minus 7 and 2/3. So again, first step, I'm going to line these up vertically. I've got 11 and 2/5 minus 7 and 2/3. So I need to find that common denominator and change them so they have that least common denominator. Well, 5 and 3, their least common denominator, least common multiple is 15. So I'm going to rewrite those with that common denominator. My whole number stays the same, denominator becomes 15. Whole number here stays the same, denominator becomes 15. So just like before, I need to multiply the top and bottom by the same value to get to that denominator of 15. Well, 5 times what is 15? 5 times 3. If I multiply the denominator by 3, I need to multiply the numerator by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. Here, 3 times what is 15? 3 times 5. If I multiply the denominator by 5, I have to multiply the numerator by 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Now I can go ahead and subtract. Here's the problem. I'm trying to subtract 6 minus 10, but I can't do that because this number is smaller. That's where this step up here comes into effect. So I have to borrow, like I did up here, but it's a little bit different. We work in base 10, so we always add 10, but fractions it's different. Our bases are determined by whatever our denominators are. Okay? So here I have to borrow from the 11. The 11 is going to become a 10. I'm going to change this 6, but I'm not going to add 10. I'm going to add this denominator because that's our base, right? So 15 plus my numerator of 6 gives me 21. Now I can subtract. 21 minus 10 is 11/15. 10 minus 7 is 3. I should always check to see if I can simplify. I can't. That's my final answer. And then I want you to try one on your own and then get it checked. So I'd like you to do 18 and 3/10 minus 4 and 11/15.